Happy Tu B'Av, everyone, 15th of Av, and Shabbat Shalom. We know the 15th of Av, it's obviously popularly known as Tu B'Av. It's a most, let's say, mysterious day, celebrated naturally every single year, 6 days after Tisha B'Av. Let's say the Code of Jewish Law, the Shulchan Aruch, reveals no observances or customs for this specific date itself, except when instruction that the Tachanun, the supplication or confession of sins prayer, and similar portions should be omitted from the daily prayers, as is the case with all festive dates. However, it happens to be Shabbat anyway, so we don't say Tachanun anyway on this day. And that one should increase one's study of Torah, since the nights are beginning to grow longer at this point in time, and the night was created for study. Now, the Talmud tells us, actually, very interesting, that many years ago, the daughters of Jerusalem would go dance in the vineyards on the 15th of Av, and whoever did not have a wife would go there to find himself a bride. And the Talmud, the Gemara, considers this the greatest festival of the year, with Yom Kippur with the same parallel, let's just say, itself. As the full moon, we know that at this point in time, the full moon of the month of Av is the festival of the future redemption, marking the end of the tragedy that, let's say, marred the first part of the month, which was obviously featured the 3 weeks and Tisha B'Av. Until this day, we held let's say, siyumim, and gave charity each day to mitigate our sadness and hasten the redemption. But on the 15th of Av, this is no longer. It's 45 days before Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. This is also the first day on which we begin to wish each other a k'tiva v'chatima tova, to be signed and sealed for a good year. So we're actually starting the whole Rosh Hashanah and Elul process 15 days earlier, and just shows that how joyous it actually is. The reason is because there's various other joyful events that actually took place over the generations of this day. Masechet Tanit on page number 30 and Masechet Bava Batra on page 121 would actually speak and relate over it. We can examine various events mentioned, and we find most of them relate, obviously, to two distinct kinds of joy. Obviously, marriage and Torah learning, which we just brought about. Now, also regarding marriage, obviously, we learned from the occurrences that as Israel first entered the land of Eretz Israel, there were single daughters without brothers, who therefore inherited their father's portions of the land. They were required to marry someone from their own tribe, so that the land would not immediately go to the tribe of the husband. This decree was reversed on Tu B'Av, on the 15th of Av, and then any young woman could marry a husband of any tribe. Likewise, in the time of the Shoftim, the great judges at that point in time, the tribe swore that for a certain period of time, let's just say, none would give their daughters to a husband from the tribe of Benjamin. This we learn about at the end of Shoftim. This oath also was rescinded on Tu B'Av, so that again all tribes could freely intermarry. And in the time of the Mikdash, Bet Mikdash, Tu B'Av and Yom Kippur were days when single girls would dance in vineyards, giving young men the chance to choose suitable brides. Now, regarding Torah learning, we learned the following. On this day, the punishment decreed following the sin of the spies was completed. Therefore, full prophecy was restored to Moshe Rabbeinu. In addition, from this day onwards, the intensity of the sun, as we said before, diminishes and the nights begin to lengthen. Therefore, a person now has more energy and more time to study at night, which is the ideal time for Torah study. For this reason, the great commentator Rav Moshe Israelis writes that from this day onward, a person is required to begin a night seder, a night learning program. It seems that there is a connection between these two aspects of Tu B'Av. The Gemara, I think in Yevamot, page number 62, states that a man who dwells without a wife is without Torah. Now, the great